Okay.
Hey, how y'all doing today? This is the Rule of Thirds. This is Nate, Chris, and Brennan. How are y'all doing
What's up,
today?
guys? How's it going? How we doing?
Yeah.
And doing a bit of a combination episode this time. We're gonna be discussing the Bad Batch episode 4 and 5 because
Yes, sir.
scheduling issues kind of got us to clump them together. But we want to get all the content out, as best as possible, as quickly as possible. So today I feel like this is probably the best way to do it.
Hey, Brennan, you said something off camera about 80 seconds ago, and I'm not about to put you on the spot. But you said something, and I want to hear why. You said underwhelming.
I did. So like the Bad Batch, it's been good. Like I'm not gonna lie, like storyline, it's been okay, and like going back to kind of episode 4. I mean, we got a little bit of interesting stuff. Know that, like, I mean, I don't know if it's really all that interesting because Omega is definitely in a
Yeah.
prize.
What happened in episode 4? Refresh my memory.
Episode 4. They pretty much like found. Well, I'm trying to like recall like everything that happened in the episode, but for the most part, what happened was we found out a couple different things about like Omega in the sense of like her value, to the galaxy and to the Kaminoans because
Mm.
we found out that there is possibly somebody after her. So what happens is the Bad Batch, they land on this planet, and I believe they were trying to. I'm trying to remember like what they were trying to do there, but
Trade for some money
this,
to get. They were
yeah,
broke,
like
trying to
right,
sell
right, right.
the.
They were trying to get some money, or they're trying to repair. They're trying to like do some repairs on an aspect of the ship.
Okay.
And there was this person there who kind of charged them to land and not speak a word on their existence there. And as they did that,
They made some sort of deal, right?
right. They made some sort of
Made
deal.
a
And he's
deal with
like, like
Echo
you
and.
pay, yeah. He's like, you pay me, and I'll, let it slide or whatever. And later on, just to find out that he actually, like is in cahoots with someone who's like looking for Omega. He's like, hey, like they're here, come get them. And so a bounty hunter is like searching for Omega, and it turns out there's some connections to be made. I'll
Yeah.
let you guys dive into that.
We got some.
That's
We got
this
some.
this we
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 got
have some
some.
connections and some theories to definitely talk about. So like I mean episode 4 was definitely more eventful than episode 5. I feel like we didn't find out too much on episode 5, but episode 4 was definitely a good episode. You kind of see, the kidnapping, so to speak. I don't even know if you can call it like kidnapping. But like Omega's kind of like, oh shoot, like my doll's there, and then she's just like, oh, I'll help you find your friends, and it was just like very subtle, and she's very young and naive. So we saw that happen, and pretty much the Omega rescue and trying to get her back. We've pretty much found out like her identity and who she is and how that relates to some shows we've seen in the past. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is very very interesting there. But it was a good episode. It was a good episode. Like now,
So
like you kind of had like a sense of like maybe a bad guy, so to speak. With like because like I guess you have Tarkin, but like who's like the real main villain of this story? I honestly really don't know yet. So like I mean I guess
I think it's yet to be determined.
right. I think yet to be determined, right?
So here's this is my thought process with this whole thing, right?
Right.
And Brendan, this is your fault, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. This is your fault. Let's just go back to Clone Wars season 7, right?
Okay.
We had like 3, 4, 5 episodes of just like story filler, whatever, and then like the last like 3 episodes just kicked it into another gear. I'm assuming that's what we're going to get here. I'm assuming maybe on a grander scale, just because there's so many episodes. Like we're on episode 5. There's what another
9 episodes? No, 11
9?
episodes. 11 episodes.
11?
16 episodes of Bad Batch.
I can only assume that maybe like the last 7, 8. Hopefully, and I'm optimistic that they're just going to be off the chains because these 4, 3, the Moon Dragon, 4, the whole deal made with the dude to get the parts, and then Echo, you see Omega wander off, 5, I'm not really sure what happened in 5. You know what I mean? They go, they meet another character who supposedly has a history with Jedi. And Nate, I'm gonna let you dive into it here in a second. But there's just not a whole lot of like big moments, those aha moments, just all those holy shit moments. Like none of that. Like 3, 4, and 5, or did not really happen.
Not really.
True.
So I'm assuming, maybe we'll get another one of those. Maybe we'll get 2 more, and then things. I'm assuming, and I think I know where the change is going to come. But Nate, I want to hear what you had to say about episode 4, and even go ahead if you want to talk about episode 5. Just your initial thoughts.
I gotcha. I'm about to say, I definitely I liked episode 4. I thought episode 4 was definitely pretty decent. Encountering bounty hunter from episodes from shows past was pretty dope. We got this here. What's her name? Fennec.
Fennec Shand.
Yeah, it's nice to see her. And nice to see her way younger. Cause this is
it's good to see her way
like
younger.
This is her fresh into the bounty hunter game. Actually, they say she's new but she's elite. Like, so this is her. She hasn't even really made a name or anything yet. Like, this is literally like fresh in to the bounty hunters.
It's interesting because like Boba Fett should still be young here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is only like for a little couple days, maybe a week after episode 3. So, like, he shouldn't be old. I don't think he's maybe like a teenager or something. Last time we saw him was like episode 2. So, it's interesting how maybe they dive into how they met or how they came together at some point.
That could be. I would like to see that.
For sure.
We don't know, obviously, even from, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in episode 5. We don't know who hired her or anything like that, but there's someone who wants Omega captured more than like, and it's not like, I don't think it's Tarkin. I don't think Tarkin really cares for like, I think if it was up to Tarkin, like, he doesn't care enough about the clones that like he would actively send people after them at this point in time. Like like if they're not interfering with Empire missions and stuff like that, I just don't think he would. He just doesn't care. Like they're not important enough to him that 5 renegade clones are worth sending forces after.
Right. And like you said, Nate, I think it's definitely like whoever hired her that might be like the big villain here.
Yeah, like there's
we
someone.
Don't really know who that is.
Yeah, there's someone above Tarkin, and I don't think it would also be the. I don't think it'd be the the Kaminoans. I don't think it would be them either.
I don't think it's them either. And yeah, I think we'll probably definitely, like you said, Chris. Like it's like season 7 of Clone Wars. Like we probably won't know. We won't get into like the juices of like the series till like the last like 5 episodes or something crazy.
That's kind of the feeling I'm getting.
Yeah, that's how Dave Filoni likes to kind of do things. I feel like he kind of likes to take his things slow.
I just feel like we have no idea where the Bad Batch is headed. Like, I mean, are they still looking for Rex? Like, is that this? When they left the island, I'm sorry, I said the island. When they left the planet with oh God, what was his name? Oh man, who was the clone that essentially defected and had the wife and the kids?
I forgot his name too.
Cut. When they left Cut, I'm assuming that the last 3 episodes they're still en route to find Rex, right?
Oh yeah.
Or am I okay? So that's where they're essentially going. Now they had to get the ship fixed. They had to get credits. They didn't have any money, so they're doing some odd jobs. We kind of see that in episode 5. But I'm assuming that's still where we're headed, right? So I'm assuming, if I had to guess, maybe that's where things pick up. You know what I mean? Maybe when we find Rex, I know we talked about it in one episode and another episode before that there's a solid chance that Ahsoka's with Rex, possibly.
There's a chance.
Very strong chance. There's a very strong chance.
Okay,
I feel like they'll do us dirty, but that's for another day. But I do have strong faith that they are coming together.
Excuse me. But I do. I get this feeling that we're kind of in that sort of like filler period where we're learning more about Omega. We're learning more about how she's becoming part of the team. I would have loved, you know, and I guess we haven't seen him in 2 episodes, 4 or 5. You know, Crosshair. I mean, I thought episode 3 was so dope.
Right.
With him essentially training the new recruits. I would have loved to have seen just a little bit of glimpse of Crosshair, just kind of where his whole dynamic with, you know, adjusting to
the new team and everything like that.
His new role, sure, you know. But sure. We didn't, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100% we're gonna see him again.
See that whole thing, that's where I think, and I'll kind of, I don't want to, you know, dive into it now. Just because I think there's still some things from episode 5 that I just kind of want to ask you guys about.
Yeah.
One, we find out about Phoenix Shan, right? We essentially Sid, you know, who essentially, you know, this whole sort of like
essentially.
Yeah. We get this introduction to this character who's like worked and been an ally with Jedi before. What were your thoughts on that whole thing? Like, what, you know, any guesses? I mean, I don't know if you guys got a chance to, like, you know, look at essentially her little room. Like, there was a lot of like Easter eggs in that room. You know what I mean?
I don't think I did.
Maybe go back and watch. There's like
there was a Stormtrooper helmet on the wall.
There's a Mandalorian helmet on the wall. There's Jango Fett's blasters. Like, there's a bunch of stuff in her room.
But what I would also say and this is I also think one of the things, I mean, because their mission there was rescuing, it was a Moochie.
Yeah. Moochie.
Which
come here, Moochie. Moochie.
Which happens to be, you know, a Rancor, not just any Rancor, a Rancor for Jabba the Hutt. And it's an infant Rancor, you know, 20-something years or 30-something years before Luke or anything like that ever encounter a Rancor in the bottom of Jabba's pit.
Isn't that so?
So I think that's pretty cool.
Freaking awesome. I thought that was so freaking cool. I love that. I think this series, like, on top of like showing, you know, the connection between like going from the Republic to the Empire, the coolest thing about the series is like them just like planting these little seeds into stuff in the future that you already know about.
Like, I thought that was super dope.
Like the you know, like the Rancor stuff. Like, it's just like they always put like little, like, it's like, oh, I already know about that stuff. This is where this happened.
It's like how did Jabba get a Rancor? Like, they're not they're only native to like the forest of, like, on some planet that I forgot, it starts with a J, and the forest is called the Rancor Forest. So like they're not, you know, they're, and it turns out they're actually on the planet they're from, they're like domesticated monsters. Like, I always thought like a Rancor was like, I had looked up this after watching that. I looked it up. Apparently Rancors are like domestic things. They're like dangerous cows. I was like,
dangerous cows. Okay.
Dangerous cows. Yeah.
They're domesticated. They use them for like farm work and shit. I was like, what?
So let me ask. You know, for me, there were 2 pivotal questions I had in episode 5. Just 2, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
One more thing about episode 4 before we get into episode 5.
No, please go ahead.
Hunter took another L. My man's like 0-4, yo.
I'm glad you.
Nah, but he gets it in. He gets it in episode 5.
Yeah, but he fought some random furry. Like, come on.
Taking 2.
He fights the man. He fights the main bad guy in episode 5 and gives it to him.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what?
Bro, who's he?
If Hunter takes another L.
Yeah, he beat the dude who was like blind in one eye with a whip.
That's exactly what was going through my mind. I was like, yo, Hunter.
The one win he gets. The one win he gets. The one win he gets. The guy was blind in one eye.
Man, it's a win, man. You got to celebrate your wins.
You gotta win this, bro.
You got to, like, you got to.
But okay. So let's just dive a little deeper into that though. But like,
oh my God.
to me that's a setup. All that is just making essentially the face off between him and Crosshair that more dope, because we've seen Hunter exposed a little bit, right? You know what I mean? You know,
he was a lot more hard in the beginning.
You know, hell, the little baby moon dragon gave it to Hunter. You know what I mean? He couldn't hold his breath. You know, he had an asthma attack and everything. You know what I mean?
The first 2 episodes, like, this man Crosshair is like overstepping his boundaries, and Hunter's like, yo, like, you better watch who you're talking to. I'm like, oh, this man Hunter's the boss. And he's been getting dogged.
Yeah. I mean, I will say he got a little bit more respect on his name in episode 5, because dude, he with the whip, and he just wasn't having it. It was like, nah, homie, no. You know,
you put some credibility to his name, 100%, because he was getting a little.
But I also think, you know, I mean, you have that whole little, in a lot of movies, and I can't think of one, you know, where you essentially now have this person whose mind has been focusing on himself and the team for so long. Now he's got to focus on this little kid. So I think that's done on purpose. I think it's done on purpose to essentially show that sort of vulnerability, because now he's distracted. He has to look over his shoulder. He didn't have to look over his shoulder and find out where Crosshair was at, or Tech, or Wrecker. He's got to look over his shoulder now. I'm like, where the hell is this little girl at?
Yeah,
I think that's done on purpose. I really do. I
can see that.
And I think it's going to set up that sort of dynamic with, if him and Crosshair ever have it out, where it's like he's now vulnerable, because for the first time he's had to protect and worry about somebody. He hasn't before. You know, will there be a situation where somebody tries to take advantage of that? Does somebody kidnap Omega, which will probably happen, I'm assuming. She didn't been close too many times.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's done on purpose. I really do. I really think that there's a scene where, you know, the quote unquote leader and Hunter is distracted, he's vulnerable, and somebody is getting the best of him. And, you know, and it's because of, you know, he's now has to care for somebody who he's never had to do that before. I think it's done on purpose. I really do. Which is cool, which is to make for an interesting, you know, dynamic, and just that whole storyline with him and Omega. Going back to Omega, in episode 5, you know, something happened. It was real small and subtle. What do you guys think about it? So the crew, the Bad Batch, they go in, they're looking for Sid, and you see a character. They're just like, yeah, Sid ain't here. And then Omega walks up and goes, "You're Sid, aren't you?"
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
I mean, are we at that point where we're like, okay, is this force sensitive? Like, am I going too far?
I don't think that it's force sensitive. I think she has, and this is gonna sound wild, I think she has better common sense than the clones. They take too much stuff at face value because they don't know what else to do. Like, They didn't even think about the fact that the bartender might just be lying to them. They immediately just went off, well, they don't know. They've never even heard of Sid. I thought you knew. Like,
right.
Instead, Omega's like looking at the situation. Like, anybody who was just kind of reading the room could kind of probably tell that you literally came in, asked for someone, and the person at the bartender was like, "Nah, I never heard of them," and just kept it going. Like, yeah, you probably, yeah, like, but she was able to pick up on that, and I think she has, like, I don't think that has anything to do with her, but I think she's more perceptive to just like everyday stuff than the normal Bad Batch are, because they've had missions and stuff like that, but they've never had to deal with stuff like that. Like, she hasn't either, but she's a kid still, so her mind wanders more. They're kind of already set in their ways, so she can pick up on things that they kind of wouldn't pick up on.
Okay.
Like, someone just randomly kind of, land in a situation where, in that situation, it was kind of somewhat obvious that, like, even if she wasn't necessarily said, it was super obvious that she just straight lied to your face, and then they were the bad hunter, and then they were all just like, well, we don't know what else to do now, instead of just kind of probing deeper.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was. I don't know. I mean, I part of me kind of was just like, oh, maybe it's like like part of her talents or something. But I felt like for the most part, it was just kind of like her childhood. Like, I mean, her child honesty that she could kind of just see through things like a little bit easier than like grown.
That's sort of blind intuition, right?
So I can just tell like you're just like lying,
Yeah.
What do you say?
I said that sort of blind intuition, sort of.
Yeah. I feel like she just has that like just for being like a child. I don't know. Maybe I'm like overlooking it and taking not looking too deep into it, but I did like kind of have that weird feeling too, Chris. But I kind of blindsided because I was waiting whenever she was like gonna be like but like I don't know, like Nate, this is why I'm gonna back what you were saying on this because I think she has higher level intelligence.
Yeah, I do think she's I do. I think
I was like, all right, yeah, because I was like when she was like when after I'm like, all right, Omega, I was looking back, I sat back, I'm like, Omega, show me something. What do you got? Like I show me something. Like they're all captured, they can't help you. What are you about to do? Like show me what your talents are. Show me something, right? And like she didn't do anything like crazy, like power wise, but she did do something like really smart. And she like unleashed the beast, right? And like she just, I feel like she's just maybe higher intellect. Like maybe she just has like, she's just like a lot smarter. Maybe I don't know. That's kind of like what I got a little bit from her this episode was like she just can think like even for a kid she just thinks
that or
I think than the clones. So.
Or I think her abilities might be she adapts way faster than they do. Like in every situation, it's really just been a situation where she's had to adapt pretty much immediately. In the situation where she had to shoot Crosshair's gun, he had to adapt immediately. In the situation where Hunter got his mask knocked off by the Moondragon, she had to adapt immediately to that situation. In the situation where, all of them got captured and stuff like that, she had to adapt immediately to that situation, and they don't always require the same skill set. But I think her thing might be that she's able to adjust a lot faster than they can to whatever situation they're in. Because even then, I kind of thought she was going to do something. Like when she was finally rescuing them, she picked up one of those bow guns that the people had. Like I don't think she ever used it, that thing, but she picked up a weapon.
Yeah, she did.
And I don't.
Yeah, right.
Like so, and I don't think I think she's gonna start becoming a more like an actual more main part of the team. Like I still don't obviously I don't feel like a kid should be out there
she got
firing and stuff like that.
Man.
But yeah, she do got her own calm now. But like I definitely feel like I feel like she's that hands clone obviously, but I feel like just from what I've seen, I feel like she just literally adapts to them she adapts way faster than they do to every situation.
Maybe she's like more human-like than them.
I mean, it could be that as well. Like they're kind of rigid.
So here's a question. And I might have asked this question before. We know she's a clone. Of who?
That's the question. Just elephant in the room. Nobody seems to ask. Apparently. They just seem that it's like
that's the part that's like mind blowing. Ooh,
right. Like they just people like from like what I'm taking it is like the clones just think it's the same Jango, but like she's just so morphed that she just like came out girl, blonde hair, like she's just so different.
Yeah, they morphed the DNA completely to a different person.
Kind of crazy. Yeah, she's like. I was like, that just seems too crazy to me.
He's not Aborigine anymore or anything like that. Lost the tan.
I mean, she has the voice. She's in that same, Aborigine Australian, Jango Fett voice. She is, but it's just like, there's just so many things that just don't make sense with her, and I'm sure it's done on purpose. The second question I have for y'all.
I already know.
And it was said in this episode that Sid worked was aligned, partnered with some Jedi.
Granted, this is not where I thought you were going to
go. You're well. Okay, well then, even more important, I want to hear the question you thought I was going to ask, because maybe I missed something.
Gotcha.
Who do we think this Jedi or these Jedi are? Are they just normal run-of-the-mill Jedi, or were these like Jedi? Who we think they are?
Yeah, the upper echelon. That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like low key, like Obi-Wan or something. Like Obi-Wan knows some pretty people like in the galaxy. You know, he used to go to like Dexter's like diner and be like, "Yo, Dexter, like, what you got for me? Like, what you know?" Like, watch it be like something like that. Like, it's just like Obi-Wan, like just knowing his people like across the galaxy, just getting information and crap. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. I don't know if it was like a run-of-the-mill Jedi. No. I think it was somewhat higher up for sure.
Okay.
I don't think that
episode 2 and like Obi-Wan goes to Dexter's like diner and he's just like, "Hey, like, you see this little piece? Like, what do you know about this?" And like he just like goes like he just like has that feel with people. I feel like so. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him.
Interesting. You don't think it's anybody older than Obi-Wan?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know who else would have an affiliation with Sid. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
I don't know if it's like my initial thought wasn't Obi-Wan, and I really didn't have one, but I'm like, okay, it's somebody who's got maybe a shady past, somebody who's been doing some underground stuff. You know, I don't know. I don't have a guess. I want to get your take on it because you know this timeline a lot better than I do. But what was the question you thought I was going to ask?
So I thought you were going to bring up, so we know, like, this headache with Wrecker, man.
Wait. No. No, okay, yes. I'm going to, but I'm not there yet because screw it. Okay. That's where I think this series is going to turn.
100%. 100%.
Because we didn't get anything. Remember now, he got into a little fight in episode 4 and nothing happened.
Right.
But he was complaining about his head in episode 5. That's where I think this series is going to take a turn and things will start to get serious. I said it. I think I said it. Maybe off camera, maybe on camera. Nate, Brennan, let me know what your thoughts are on this. And this is by no means, this is just my opinion. But I think I said it before. If they're going to see Rex, and the thought is there's a possibility that Ahsoka's there, and essentially we're watching Wrecker essentially go through Order 66, and it happens when like they're there with Rex and he sees Ahsoka, he's going to try and go after her, and that's not going to go. And that's not going to go well for him at all.
No.
Oh, 100%.
It's not going to go well for him at all.
Right.
I think that's when things will take a turn, and that's my. If somebody was like, "Hey, what do you think? You know, what are things going to turn for the worse in this series, or really, really get good?" It's going to be Wrecker either turning on his team, like Crosshair did, or it's going to be, and I might be saying this premature, but I can't see Ahsoka not
being with Rex. Like, where would she even be at this point in time?
Yeah, right. No, I guess even I can't see Ahsoka not messing Wrecker up pretty good.
Yeah, he lost to Fennec almost immediately. Like,
right. Yeah, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't.
Did you see episode 7 when she's on top of the freaking table, like blast, like defending against like 20 like clones at one time?
Right.
Yeah, she'd have.
Like that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, she'd have did.
She'd
have did Wrecker in.
I'm still convinced. I'm still convinced that the Bad Batch this series is nothing more than a tragedy at its core.
It might be like
I believe so. Unfortunately, I
think we've seen some things with Crosser where he's done some things or he's going to do some things that maybe he can't ever come back from.
Mm.
I see some things with Wrecker that it's just going to be instinctive that, you know, he finds himself in a situation that he can't get back from, and he didn't. If it's Ahsoka and Order 66 is just going on in his head, and he tries to kill her, I don't see that going well.
I agree. I agree as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the series ended very grim. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, I can't. I don't see it ending well. I see it being, you know, pretty emotional, pretty sad. But I'm convinced that it will start on this, you know, downward spiral, whatever you want to call it, or, you know, maybe just really, really getting good from an emotional standpoint with Wrecker
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I see that. You know, I mean, he's the big lug. He's the big teddy bear. He's the big lovable guy. He's, you know, and it's going to be sad to see him, you know, with his one eye or with his one regular eye looking up and essentially maybe on his deathbed or trying to figure out what happened and apologize. And I see it being sad. I really do.
I agree.
I see it being sad. Maybe Hunter, Tech, Echo, and Rex and Ahsoka have to put him down. I see it being said. I do. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
I definitely think the series is gonna. I think there's gonna be a lot of sad moments in the series.
100%.
I think this is obviously jumping away. I think the series is gonna only end one of two ways, or either with Hunter and Omega kind of only being the last survivors of the whole situation, and then they just fade off. Like the reason why you never hear about them again is because they just chose not to be involved after the whole deal anymore. Or the last situation is I see only Omega surviving the whole thing.
100%. Yeah.
And then it's once again a situation where even after all this, she just has it. She wants to step up, or they might kind of, you know, retcon things and start writing her into more stories into the future and stuff like that. So I mean, but I see it kind of only in one of those two ways. Like I see either they're kind of only being like Hunter or someone like that who survived, and he kind of pulled the deserter route like my boy Cut, and they just kind of fade into, like, you know, history, like, or it's just Omega.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Nate. I think it's gonna be one of two ways. I think it's either Hunter and Omega are gonna survive, and, you know, maybe he pulls a Cut, and it's just like,
he starts the family. He starts family life, and just,
you know, father daughter, like, you know, relationship. They just live normal lives or whatever. Or it's just gonna be Omega, and it's just gonna be a Grogu situation. We just have this new character, and we will just include them eventually somewhere down in the future. I believe that.
I'm leaning that way, Brennan, for one reason and one reason only. Okay, so we were reintroduced to a character in episode 4 and saw her again in episode 5, and we know essentially what she is, but we saw essentially what she becomes in The Mandalorian.
Right.
And we see this sort of code, you know, with her essentially helping Boba Fett and save Grogu. I think this is, and this just literally just happened to me, so forgive me if this is raw and uncut. But Nate, yeah, I see all the Bad Batch. I see an Omega essentially by herself, but I see her being essentially adopted by Fennec Shand.
Oh, I can see that too.
That would
just the way that Phoenix essentially was so cool with, like, Boba Fett and, like, hey, no, like, they helped us, we're going to help them, we're going to save Mando and Grogu. There's a code there. There's a code there.
Right.
You know, I see maybe Fennec Shand following, you know, the Bad Batch and still on her mission, but, you know, she's smart enough and she's, you know, she's aware of what's actually going on, and if the Bad Batch were to fall, I see her taking Omega.
I can see that. I can see that because you could even see like she was just like teaching her. She's like, yeah, hey, listen, it's okay to steal things. You know, it's okay to steal this out. Like, you know,
she was teaching her how to survive.
Yeah, this fruit. Hey, listen. Like sometimes you got to take from people to survive out here. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah. She just eats it. I'm like, you can already see her like she's like mentoring her and stuff.
Right.
Like,
okay. In episode 4, I got that vibe. I'm just like, Omega might end up with Fennec Shan.
And she might raise her and teach her how to like survive out here, and she might be some super crazy bounty hunter that we don't even know about yet or something. So I can see that 100%.
And ultimately, if I'm saying that, then she's going to end up with who? Boba Fett.
Yeah, you're going to see it in the Boba Fett series, Mandalorian season 3.
So
that would be dope.
Done.
That would be insane.
So we're going to see live action Omega, older Omega, and the Book of Boba Fett. There it is, folks. There it is, folks. There you go. Write it down.
That's our crack 3 right there. Hey, months from now, when that Boba Fett series comes out, we did that.
Write it down. Okay.
We started that.
Yeah, write it down.
Said it, you heard it here first. We said it.
Yes. Put it on your calendar. The rule of thirds, said it first. We're about to see live action Omega in the Book of Boba Fett. That's right. That just happened. Okay?
That just happened.
Wait. Any final thoughts on 4 and 5, guys? I mean, it seems like we found. It seems like I think our initial thoughts was there wasn't a lot there for 4 and 5,
know, right?
but we found a lot. We found a lot, right?
You ended up finding a few things, but
it wasn't anything, and then we just dove into all the crazy.
Yeah. So
I'll say there were
overall good episodes.
Yeah, overall, like they were definitely still pretty good episodes because we're getting a lot of build up and stuff like that. They weren't the most eventful episodes. Like there's not a bunch of crazy whole bunch of stuff happening in one episode like that, but they're good.
For sure.
I'm enjoying myself.
For
they're
sure.
not. I'll say this: they're not. The episodes of the Bad Batch have not got me quite as hyped as. I'll say I don't think they've got me as hyped as like the Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian was a different series. And it was.
I'll say. I just think just the fact that like on episode 1 we realized there's 16 episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot, and we not only know there's a lot. It's going to take a while. There's probably going to be those filler episodes, character development episodes, whatever you want to call them.
And the crazy thing is, we're over here talking about like how the series will end. I mean, knowing how a lot of the series goes for Star Wars, they might even make a Bad Batch season 2. We're over here talking about it's going to end.
Yeah.
They make more than one season of every series they come out with. So
yeah, true.
True. That could also be a possibility as well. So that's probably why they're going so slow with it, because maybe it doesn't.
They don't know yet.
Right.
I mean, that's definitely something that Disney and Star Wars will do. They'll see how it goes, and maybe we're going to do season 2.
Also, they'll leave the ending open-ended enough so that they can say someone survived or someone didn't survive or so on and so forth to do how they want to do it. Disney's been pretty good at that.
Right. For sure.
One thing, though. I'm so sold. Like the fact that we said it, like it makes so much sense now.
Yo,
we get a live action Omega in the Book of Boba.
That'd be dope.
Because isn't the Book of Boba only supposed to be like 4 or 5 episodes? It's supposed to be like real quick. So it has to be good.
Really?
Yeah, because it's supposed to lead right into the Mando episode season 3. It's supposed to be like 4 or 5 episodes. It's not supposed to be long.
But they'll probably be longer episodes. Like they're probably like 40-minute episodes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, give me 40. But like, how cool would that be?
I think it'd be pretty dope,
Chris. If that happened, I'm already an Omega fan, so
wow,
she was there. Because she's just a character that I feel like has to continue. Like I don't feel like they would introduce her
just to kill her off in the same series.
Just to cut her
off.
So
here's a question about her. And I think the answer is yes. But at what point? Because let's be honest. The story really isn't about her. Well, when do you guys think we'll actually, we'll find out what she is? We have the whole, come on, what's the word? Not Caminos. What's the planet? Caminero, El Camino, whatever. You know, I mean, there's still that sort of dynamic with her of like what she is, what she's capable of. Like, I want to know, you know, like, you know, I was part of me is thinking like this series might even switch to where like, yeah, it's about the Bad Batch, but it's more so of what she is and how she's a part of the Bad Batch. You know what I mean? And maybe Crosshair is essentially being assigned to go get them, and just that whole sort of, you know, maybe him realizing the error of his ways. I mean, I literally see this series going so many different ways.
Yeah,
but without a doubt,
11 episodes left.
I'm super hype about what we just talked about. Live action Omega in the Book of Boba Fett. I you know, I do.
100%.
It makes a lot of sense.
I think they didn't make that Fennec Shand connection for no reason. I think they like connecting the live action and animated series a lot. They really do like doing that. And I love that they do that, honestly. I think that's the greatest thing ever.
Here's why I think that makes sense just in Star Wars. You know, every character, every main character we see in Star Wars, there's always what? There's always a blank and there's always a blank. Brandon, I'll let you fill it. What is it?
There's always a live action and animated.
No.
Beginning and end to their character arc for the most part.
There's always a blank and there's always a blank.
What? Master and student?
Thank you.
That's true. Always.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
That's right.
There's always a master and a student. You know?
For sure.
So if Fennec Shand essentially is the student, the Boba Fett, Omega's and she's trying to be the student of who right now?
Hunter.
But if he's not there, you know, whatever happens to him, somebody's going to pick up that mantle. I see it being Fennec Shand.
The way he's fighting now.
Yeah.
All right. But I feel like that's a good point to wrap it up tonight, guys.
For sure.
Before we do, look here. Loki, what, 2 weeks?
Couple weeks. Loki series.
What
Loki
else?
Series. The Eternals trailer. I think
man, I want to talk about that one. I want to talk
Eternals.
About
it. I had a feeling you would.
Black Widow is coming out pretty soon.
A lot there. There's man. Honestly, video dissecting that trailer because there's some.
There's a lot. There's a lot there.
100%.
Black Widow. I'm here. We're going to get a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer here soon.
Oh yeah.
I'm hearing that's coming soon.
I didn't even know about that.
What else? So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Marvel is saving our 2021 100%.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. They have essentially your boys over at the WB, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, the WB. What do they do?
Your boys over at the WB have said they want to make a sequel to the Joker.
Oh.
To the what?
I thought you said the Snyder cut.
And I'm gonna be honest with you.
Don't do it. Just leave it alone. Stop. Just stop. Don't do it. You had enough. You used the Joker enough. The Joaquin Phoenix one is cool, but just keep it as a standalone. You don't need to sequel it up because you're gonna throw in Batman. It's gonna be Robert Pattinson, and no one's gonna. Or it's going to be another Batman. It's going to be another Batman. It's going to be a ninth. It's going to be a 20th Batman. It's going to be another one.
What about the Flash movie that's been announced since I was in diapers?
Yeah. I was like 60, 70 pounds.
Have we even gotten a trailer on that movie?
No. You want to know why? Because I never made one. There isn't one. They don't
haven't even started production.
Yeah, they don't have enough footage to make a trailer. Anyway, guys, we're not about to go on a rant here. We're not about to. Yeah, we're not about to.
Yeah, we're not going.
The point of this is there's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content coming. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe the videos, share the videos.
We appreciate it.
Guys, we appreciate it all.
Even We talked about doing like some not really solo projects, but maybe just taking
I'll be talking about the Flash. I got some.
He's doing the Flash.
I got some of these. I got some of these animated series, so I'm definitely doing Castlevania because Castlevania is dope.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Invincible as well, but
if you guys didn't get a chance to check it out, and I'm pretty sure somebody got a chance to check it out because one of y'all viewed the two videos I did on Jupiter's Legacy, which I enjoyed it. I'm not even about to go into it, but there's a lot of content out there, guys. Follow along. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share these videos. There's a lot more content coming, so definitely stay along and ride along with us on this journey. And see you guys down the road.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out, guys. Later.